yesterday. And I'm looking at these trees, it's like, I think I was dreaming about trees, giant ones. But it could have been the fact that we had a discussion yesterday about how to landscape the garden. So it probably has everything to do with that discussion of trees and bushes. And probably got into my head before I went to sleep to have me dream of big trees. Kind of like black butt trees, but bigger. Taking over the world kind of attitude, but these trees are the more reliable ones, the gum trees. You just get lots of different gums. They're more reliable than pine trees. Pine trees fall over a lot, especially when they're young. Like, they look big, but it's not until they get to certain amounts of years that they start to be like stronger, because they grow up big fast, and then it's like, but they get, they fall down very easily when they're just young. I think possibly they fall down pretty easily when they're older too. But either way, I've never had a property where the pine trees aren't falling down. So if the weather is good, if the weather's calm, sure, I mean, they stand. But when it gets really windy, they're pretty susceptible to being ripped right out of the ground, whereas these ones that are a lot thinner and somewhat smaller, I think, these ones don't move, so you can always rely on the eucalyptus to still be standing after a storm. Wattle is ridiculous. Wattle falls down very easily too. I keep wanting to know more about different bushes to plant, because whenever I look up the term bush, what kind of bushes are there? Like, you just get like a range of different plants, but none of them are really a range of different bushes. And then it's like, you either get the same bushes repeatedly being sold on the internet when you want to find a variety of them. And so I get very disheartened when I look at things on the internet, because it's like, where do you have to go to find like a range of attractive bushes that you can use for landscaping? Because some nurseries are quite small, they don't have a very good range. On the Sunshine Coast, there was this nursery. I don't know where it was somewhere on the Sunshine Coast. They have a nice big one with a lot of variety of different size plants. I mean, they have the ginormous plants, and then they have small ones, and that's one of the few nurseries that don't have your generic range. They had quite a wide variety of different kinds of bushes and plants, and I was like, oh, this is more like what you can use to landscape a garden. Because when you buy things off the internet, it's like you always feel like everyone's selling the same thing, and it's not really a huge variety and stuff like that, and you don't know what self-seeds and what doesn't. And so if you happen to choose something that looks like a bush and it's a self-seeding pest, and you buy it and you grow it and then it self-seeds, it's like you can end up with a landscaping problem, which is something kind of expensive to fix up. And if it self-seeds to a neighbor's yard, and they're like, where the hell did this pesky plant come from? Then you can get in trouble. I bet you can even be fined. We were talking about fines yesterday, and apparently, like, if you find a plant that's growing from someone's garden and you take a snippet without their permission, you can get charged like $500 or face 6 months in jail, depending on the charge and the outcome. And you're like, wow, just from taking a cutting. It's like if I snip some of that white flower, you can go to jail for it. And so I was like, oh, that's news to me, because you never really consider something like that to be any kind of real theft or vandalism. Like you think, oh, if you have like a neighbor's tree overhanging a little bit, it's like, well, I can snip at that and take it home. But apparently you can't. So unless you have permission, you can't, and so it's like, oh, that's something I never knew. But here we go, here's some bushes. Like, what are these bushes? No idea. What are these bushes out front? No idea. And what's that bush? Who I live with has a big thing for this particular plant, and I'm like, get over it already, just buy a freaking plant and grow it, because they're always like, oh, it looks so pretty, I love it so much, I wish I had it in my garden. Like every time they see a sample of the plant in the yard, and I'm like, just buy one, it can't be that expensive. Maybe I should buy one. I think it's called a jacaranda. No, I don't know what it's called. Purple plant. I don't know. It's like, if you love it so much and you want it in your garden so much, it's like, just buy one already. It's kind of annoying just to have them whimsically wish for one and to say it like over and over and over and over again for months. And you're like going, just buy one. Geez, I mean, it can't cost that much. I bet I can buy a packet of seeds off eBay for like $5 or $10. But I was thinking about my seeds. I've got some grape seeds, so since I had success with one of my with the custard apple, I think I might plant some grape seeds in one of the other pots that aren't growing anything and see how that goes. I mean, the pots are supposed to be growing natives, but I don't see anything growing, so I just figure, well, those seeds aren't really growing, so the native seeds aren't growing, so why not plant something else? But I don't know how fast a custard apple seed grows, like the plant. It might grow really quickly. So, but I've virtually never really grown a seed from just a piece of fruit. Like, it's quite an exhilarating experience, because you're like, oh, that's not going to grow. And then it starts growing, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so growing. So it's pretty exciting, actually. Like, now I can grow anything from just buying a piece of fruit from a store, a greengrocer, and planting the seeds. Now I can do it with kiwi and have some other things growing in the garden, because all those seeds in a kiwi that you normally eat are like seeds that can grow kiwi. like a new plant apparently. So I like yellow durian. You just don't think of it when you're eating it. It's like you don't think of collecting the seeds and washing them and whatnot, and then planting them, you know, because you're too busy eating the fruit. It's like you just don't think of actually growing any seeds from it. And it's like, but you know, did you know that you can? Like, I have no idea, I never really tried. But yeah, what else was I thinking about today? I'm thinking how tired I'm going to be by after lunchtime, because I virtually woke up. I must have been 4:30 when I woke up. I thought it was like 5:30, or I expected it to be close to 7. When I checked the time, it was close to 6, and I'm like, I've been just sitting here thinking about stuff for an hour at least. But yeah, I'm just heading off to the doctor's. I think I have my piece of paper. I have to write down what I'm getting. Then I have to buy it. So it's a little bit annoying, but yeah, it's just my range of normal scripts that I get all the time. Yeah, I'm gonna be so tired. I still feel like I need to sleep, but I'm so awake that I can't sleep. So I feel like I'm hungry too. I only just had breakfast, but I've been having more of a little bit of a heart murmur lately. I've been like feeling that flux of nervousness because I'm like, I feel all huffy and puffy, and when I'm walking sometimes it's like, oh, I thought I was doing well without feeling huffy and puffy. I was starting to get huffy and puffy a little sometimes, and I'm like, is it what I have or haven't eaten, or is it just having had lost some weight, or and I'm like, oh, I have to catch my breath a little. But I keep thinking of doing things, and it's like, I don't really like to do stuff. Like, I keep thinking about traveling. I don't really, especially when I travel. I mean, I should practice it, because otherwise I forget how to travel, and then I lose the courage to want to travel. When I get used to it, it's like, oh, just hop on a plane and travel. But when I'm avoiding it, it's like traveling becomes a big feat that I grow very nervous about doing, or I don't want to do it because I don't know anything at the airports, because it's been a while. Because I was traveling over the world at some stage, but now I don't. Now I'd be nervous because I haven't been there for a while, and I've forgotten everything that I used to know. So that's why you should never stop. Once you sort of start, you should never stop it, because then you forget it, and then you sort of go back to being nervous. It's like